Haven't done one of these in a while, huh? Yeah. Gonna do some gaming and talking. Okay, looks like I just came back from the jungle. I haven't played in a while. Uh, but, okay, I mean, there's a lot to cover. Let's just start with the fact that uh, this is Terraria, and it is one of the few games that I would consider to be perfect. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously there's like issues here and there, but as far as whatever the game is trying to do, it's perfect. And yeah, I guess I'll sell those two. My only major problem with it is that a playthrough takes like a while. It takes like 30 hours if you're like not rushing super hard. I still have that grappling hook? Oof, okay. I've got some here. I think sapphire is one of the stronger minerals. I don't remember. Also, I guess there's a small issue of this game is best played with the wiki up. But at least I sort of remember where I was. I killed Queen Bee. I gotta go to the jungle now, which is this way. Okay. And yeah, as you can clearly see, I am a summoner main. I'll never not be a summoner main. It's just too good. Do I have any wood? I have 11. Wonderful. This whole, like, inventory management and sorting part, it may look kind of, you know, lame, but it is a lot of the fun, you know? It's part of the joys. It looks like I also didn't replant any trees. Why did I do that? That's kind of fucked up. Anyway, yeah. Terraria, perfect game. Takes a while. But with that, I guess I can start rambling. Which I fucking already am. But I guess the main question is, where have I been? I haven't uploaded to the main channel in almost 2 months. I haven't really done much on the second channel either. Why doesn't this want to place? Weird. But yeah, I've just been busy with school. Right now, I'm a junior. And in college, you know, that's kind of when you start. It's like when you finish all of your general stuff and you're just doing, you know, major related work. And so I am a double major. I'm doing a major in math and a major in physics. And those aren't, you know, exactly easy majors. As opposed to if I was like, you know, taking economics or something. Because that is, I like to take intro classes, right? Or at least, you know, when I had time. I no longer do. But I took an intro economics class, and I realized that the world doesn't need economists, and that their work is completely inconsequential, and that any child with a crayon could do it. So yeah, if I was, for example, an economics major, I would have plenty of time to do YouTube and whatever other activities I'd want. Unfortunately, doesn't work like that. So I'm taking differential equations, which isn't that hard. Differential equations is my easiest class right now. And it's mainly because I already have an understanding of differential equations from physics, since, you know, a lot of physics has to do with differential equations. So that's that. And yeah, I mean, it's whatever. It's my easiest class. Next, I have abstract algebra, which is, it's fine. You know, I'm not great with algebra. I'm more of an analysis person. If you're not like in math, I guess the thing to know is that there's algebra and there's analysis. What they are doesn't matter. You don't really need to know. So I'm taking that. I'm also taking Quantum Mechanics 2, which is, I mean, it's kind of interesting because quantum mechanics is required for my physics major, but quantum mechanics 2 isn't. So my class cut down to size by like half as soon as this semester started, which was, you know, it was cute. I'm one of the few that survived. But, I mean, it's fair. Quantum mechanics is, you know, it's confusing, not very easy. Oh, I've got a corruption on my dungeon. Or not a corruption, a crimson. That's fine. Anyway, quantum mechanics, so that one's pretty tough. And then, lastly, not the hardest, but the most time-consuming class I've got is experimental methods, which, you know, as a physics major, you're expected to know how to run experiments. And I can do that, okay? Every physics class has experiments that you run. Experimental methods is a little bit different because you've got to report them as well. So a lot of it is presenting it. So, you know, you do an experiment, and then you've got to write a paper on it, and then you've got to do a presentation on it. And there's all this stuff, and it's just so much work. For honestly, it's not worth it. Like, yeah, I have to take the class, but really, do I have to do this much? It's just kind of annoying. But yeah, right now I'm writing a paper on an optical pumping experiment I did. And earlier this week I did a presentation on this optical pumping. And since I'd imagine nobody knows what optical pumping is, optical pumping has to do with the Zeeman effect, which is energy splittings in a magnetic field. This is the problem with explaining physics to someone who doesn't do physics, which I'm just assuming everyone watching this is. It's the fact that there's so much that you have to build on to actually explain. So, okay, so you know atoms, right? Atoms, there's a very common, you know, model called the Bohr model of the atom, and that's the one where you've got the little protons and neutrons in the middle, and then you have different rings of electrons. It's not true, that's the thing. It's not a correct model. It only works for hydrogen. But with that in mind, you can think about every one of those circles as its own energy level. And electrons can move between these energy levels depending on if they, you know, absorb light or emit light, because, you know, light is energy. And I think I've got time to port home, grab some potions, and also sharpen myself. Let's see if I can fight Skeletron. He shouldn't be that hard, right? What's the worst that could happen? I don't have an iron skin. It's fine. I don't need it. Armored. Okay, all of those are fine. Okay, what was I saying? Anyway, you've got these energy levels that electrons can go through. But if you're in a magnetic field, there are more energy levels. There are like bonus energy levels. And it's called the Zeeman effect. It's named after a Dutch guy. Okay, he didn't drop anything. It's named after a Dutch guy. And yeah, if you take these splittings, and the splittings that or electrons specifically in this experiment, can go through, have very defined energy levels. Because that's the thing. energy is quantized, which is, you know, quantum mechanics. Energy is quantized, which means you can only have certain energies, which is such an interesting concept to me, because it feels like, you know, you can move. When you move, right, it's like, oh, okay, I'm crossing over this distance, and, you know, you can get smaller, and you can get smaller, and I'm still crossing over this distance, but eventually you reach a distance, and it's like, okay, well, I'm not really traversing anymore, I'm just kind of appearing on the other end of this. And it's a very, very funky idea. But you get the same thing with energy levels. And so, you have these energy levels between... Trying to fucking play and explain this is... I feel like a maniac. You have these energy levels, and they are directly proportional to the strength of the magnetic field. So, you can control the magnetic field, you can get the readings of these energy levels, and you can compare them with another reading of energy levels, which is the light going in. And so, if you take both of those, you can calculate something called the G factor, which links a bunch of different properties together. And, okay. Time to fight while explaining physics. Fucking whatever. So you've got all of these properties. What do you mean come back at night? Okay, that's what I thought. You've got all these properties, and you connect through them, and you do this lab, and it's a lot of work. And now I have to write a paper on it, I've got to do an explanation of it, a presentation, all this stuff. And the last part right now for me to do is I need to write like a formal paper and then present it. What's my heal? Ah, okay, that one. Good, good. I don't even know my bindings here. So the last thing I have to do is write like a full paper on it, and then I have to go to my school's writing center to get it, you know, checked. Not for like errors or anything, but because it's a paper that's supposed to be simulating, you know, submitting to like a science journal for non-academics, it needs to be readable for non-physicists. And that's why I'm going to the writing center. But the thing is, I don't care what they have to say. If there's one thing I can do, it's write for a general audience, you know? That's perhaps one of the few things I've learned from YouTube. So yeah, that's a massive thing that I'm working on. Aside from that, I'm doing grading work still. So there's that. Then there's all the work for my other classes. It's just a lot. I'm very busy. But just now, or I guess this week, I finished a bunch of tests, and yeah, I'm sort of free-ish, which is why I'm making this video. And by free-ish, I mean, like, I was already kind of free earlier. Well, I might die here. That would be... Whoops. Hey, lucky time for him to do that attack. I might be able to get another heal in. Yeah, I mean, I don't sleep. That's how I get all of my stuff in. Since I'm not gonna quit my epic gaming. So the only way to do that is to sleep less. And I've started getting into energy drinks. Yeah, you know, might as well do this now while I'm a college student and I'm immortal. Which is, you know, not the best way to look at it. But I won't be able to pull off this kind of lifestyle in the future anyway, so I'll enjoy it now. Simple as that. Skeletron down. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. Skeleton hand. I think that's a better hook. Might as well. Dungeon time. Woohoo. So yeah, that's why I've been gone. Anyway, next little topic I have written down. Career mentor. So this is funny. Over winter break, well, it's not really over winter break, it's just my school offers a thing where you can get, like, career mentoring from, like, alumni within your major. So, you know, I put myself down to speak with a physics major, and they ignored me. They just ignored all my emails, and I never got my career mentoring. So, that was kind of unfortunate. But recently, not recently, but the point is, I got an email from the school and they're like, hey, so since your mentor ignored you, we looked out and found some other mentors if you'd like to talk to them. And so I said yes, and they found me 2 mentors this time. And they both did not ignore me, they actually set up a call. And yeah, we set up a call, we talked about stuff, grad school, not grad school, all sorts of fun stuff that really only matters to me. And that also took time, unfortunately. You know, setting up the meetings, actually having them. It was rough, but whatever, it's all done now. And, yeah, I'm free. Everything's wonderful. Walking on sunshine. Next topic I have. How's Payday 3 looking? Ooh, this is a good one. We have the strike team. That's good, right? Oh, also, I'm looking for a bewitching table, if it matters. There's nothing really in the dungeon for summoner players, except for the bewitching table. I will take this, though, too. That's nice. So, yeah. Strike team. That's, it's an upgrade from literally nothing to a strike team. Is it gonna fix the game? No. I think it's... You know, I was always kind of hopeful, you know? I was always like, you know, I think Payday 3 can turn it around. But hilariously, with the announcement of the strike team, now I think it's officially over. There is no saving Payday 3. And it's because the strike team was announced, and... well, I mean, that's great. We have a strike team. They're not doing anything. All they announced was, here's a list of stuff that we want to do by the end of this year. Okay. Your game is fucked. What do you mean by the end of this year? And they released a blog post, today, or not today, but somewhat recently, I don't remember when, I don't really pay attention. But they released a blog post about how they haven't done anything. What the fuck are they doing? The strike team, come on, let me break this. Unless this is wall, whatever. The strike team isn't gonna fix Payday 3. I would say too little too late, but it's not too little too late, it's months late. And everything's fucked, and it's all over. Like, I don't play Helldivers 2, which came out recently, but all I've heard about it was how there was a problem with the game, the devs communicated the problem, and then they fixed it. And it's been, like, only a couple weeks, and the devs have already patched so many problems. But for Payday 3, the devs have been told problems from since the beta, because that's, like, the forum that they use to scrape, like, stuff that needs to be updated. It was from the beta. They had that stuff before the game launched, and we're, what, almost half a year in and they fixed nothing? I mean, I don't think they fixed nothing. I think they fixed some stuff, but it's so little that it's effectively nothing. Payday 3 is dead. I mean, there's no fixing it. After they get out the year of gold DLC or whatever it is. They're pulling the plug, killing the servers. It's done. I don't think offline mode is ever going to get implemented. Starbreeze... I mean, it's hard to say that this wasn't something that was expected. Starbreeze has shown a lot that they're not good game developers. That's the thing. Terrible decision after terrible decision, failed game after failed game. The only thing that Starbreeze and Overkill have done right is Payday 2. Everything else was a horrible disaster. Oh good, a Goblin army. Everything else was a horrible disaster. And I think it's naive to have expected Payday 3 to be good. Especially if you consider the fact that Payday 2 had a history of my opinion, or your opinion, my choice, which is bad. And then Payday 3 came out, and they were like, no, we're not changing any of these features, we're not changing all of this progression, we're not changing the armor system, you are going to enjoy it. And people didn't enjoy it, and the game was failing, and they were forced to fix it. They don't care about the game, it doesn't matter to them anymore. It's fucking disappointing, but it's hard to say that it's not expected. It is what it is. Whatever, Payday 3 is done. Nothing anyone can do about it. Do I want to keep going? I mean, the Goblin Army's gonna stick around. Oh, good. While I'm on this, let's go home. Payday 3's done. It's over. Who cares? Yeah. That's that. What do I have next here? So, yeah. Since I was busy, I'm not caught up to a bunch of stuff. In fact, I'm not caught up to anything, anime-wise, that is. Because I try to keep up with seasonal stuff. But this was the first season where I'm just so fucking behind on everything. But yeah, what I can say from what I'm keeping up on, this season's okay. There's nothing really stand out about it. But the big show of this season is Solo Leveling, which everyone was like looking forward to, and it was like super hyped up because it's like a very famous Korean manhwa. I gotta say, holy fucking shit, the directing is so bad. It's maybe one of the worst, like, some of the worst directing I've seen. How do you fuck up a series like Solo Leveling? You just have to do the action. There's nothing else you have to do. But they do the action poorly. They smash brakes into everything. It's genuinely a mystery to me. I don't fucking understand. It's bad. Everything's bad. But it's fine, because I don't care too much about it, and I don't have enough time to care much about it anyway. So, you know, it kinda works out. But I will catch up to everything. I've got spring break coming, and I, for the first time, have convinced my family to leave me at home for spring break. So that's good. Usually I get dragged onto whatever trip. And it's not like I'm ungrateful, but you know, it's exhausting when all of my breaks are not really my breaks, and it's just kind of an us break. Whatever. Oh, check out this transition. But one thing we like to do as a family is play board games. Here's a recent board game we got. What a good transition, right? The Binding of Isaac: Four Souls. Now, I've played a lot of The Binding of Isaac. Not as much as, like, Payday 2. But I've played, like, 500-ish hours, I think. And it's a great game. But, I mean, it's not like I can introduce it to my family. But I can introduce a board game to my family. So that's what I've done. The Binding of Isaac board game. I've introduced it to them. Now, of course, there's a lot of reading, because you have to read what the cards do. So that's a challenge. I have to explain to my Russian parents what a lot of different game terms are. So that's been a battle. But yeah, it's a fun game. It's great for me to see the actual, you know, cards from the game, and I'm like, oh my god, I recognize this, I recognize that. So that's cool. Hive. Easy as that. So it's cool for me to recognize stuff. It's cool for me to just introduce a game to them, because it's a fun game too. It's a fun game. So yeah, I mean, if you're interested, if you're an Isaac fan, 100% get it. If not, I mean, it's still a fun game. Give it a go if you want, if you can get your hands on it. But also, I've been looking at, like, board games of video games, and the Slay the Spire board game also looks really good. Because how am I going to introduce them to a single-player game on a computer? It doesn't work that way. But if I can introduce them to Slay the Spire as an in-person card game, that's good. And it's like cooperative. And co-op board games are fucking awesome. A lot of people, you know, aren't really into board games because they only play the shit ones, which is fair. Oh fuck, I want to get the whip from the dungeon, don't I? What do I need for that? That's cobwebs and bones. Did I trash them? Whoops. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to go back. Okay, there's my cobwebs. I'll hold on to that. Bones, bones, bones. No. Good. Good. Time to go back to the dungeon. But yeah, the Slay the Spire board game looks awesome. It is gonna be pricey though. It's like $100. But it's not out yet, so it's fine. I'll wait for someone to buy it, and then resell it, and I'll get it for cheaper. Because you know, getting used board games, especially from a website like Board Game Geek, for example, where people care about the board games, and it's not like Monopoly that you've had for 15 years and you're selling it, and there's like half the piece is missing, the money's soaked in water or something. So yeah, I mean, that's cool. Anyway, Slay the Spire board game looks cool. There's a DRG board game too, but it's like $250. So no, not doing that. And also from what I've seen, it has me like mildly annoyed. Ooh, angry plant. It has me mildly annoyed because the characters have their weapons changed. Like Engineer, his secondary is the Scout's shotgun. Which, like, no, that's wrong. You can't do that. So yeah, that's that. That's what I'm doing. That's what I've been up to. Video soon-ish. So here's how ambitious I was. If you remember my community post of math yes or no, that's because I thought I would be coming out with my math video, and I'm doing it for all the people who watch this channel, and not just one. I'm doing a video about math in terms of Payday, because I think it was a funny idea. I think Stalin gave it to me in my Discord server, suggesting that I make a video explaining math to Payday players because they're so bad at math. It was specifically about dodge, but I thought it would be funny to do more than just dodge. So I guess here's like a preview of the video. I'm going from elementary school math all the way to college math, and I'm explaining it in terms of Payday 2. Or, well, not just Payday 2, but like the Payday franchise. Stuff like that. So yeah, there's all sorts of goodies in there. Ow. Look forward to that. I thought the video would come out sooner because I would have time, and then I got overwhelmed with work. So, whoops. It is what it is. Where do I have to go? Down there works. There we go. Okay. I'm not really a fan of the dungeon update with all the hidden paths. But I guess it's kind of cool. It's an interesting concept. So yeah, I thought that video would come out. Turns out, nope, extremely busy. And then I thought, oh, surely it's gonna come out before the end of February. Nope, not happening. Unless, I mean, unless I stop doing, like, energy drinks and start doing Adderall. Ow, I slipped. Then it's not gonna happen. Can I get through this with bombs? I don't think I can. Yeah, okay. Whatever. So yeah, I'm working on that. Working on a bunch of stuff. I'm trying to get more into reading. I got, oh, there's the bewitching table I need. For my birthday, which was on the 29th of January, that is. I got money, and then I went to Barnes & Noble. I got myself some books. I've read 2 of them so far. I got 4. And that's just out of the new books. Because I have a whole ass bookshelf. Well, that's an exaggeration. I have a bookshelf with like 5 different layers, 3 of which are empty. And one of them is only half full. But I'm building my collection of various books. I also have a shelf in my desk for physics textbooks, because that's the only textbook I buy. Everything else I just happen to get a copy of. So yeah, that's this gaming and talking. Do I have enough bones to craft it? 99. I don't think that's enough. It is enough. Barely. Spinal Tap. Great for dealing with crowds. Like the Goblin Army that I didn't use it for. Anyway, yeah. Video, it's coming, I promise, eventually. It'll be there. I still do my weekly streams, though. If you feel like talking to me, I'm there. I do DRG for like 2 hours. Yeah. That's that. Oh, I guess, I mean, another thing. Another reason that I've been busy is because I applied to a bunch of research programs over the summer. And all of those need an individual application. All of those need you to, like, write an essay for them. All a bunch of work. All a bunch of silly shenanigans. It's whatever. I'll be done soon enough. And hey, when the summer comes, and I'm doing those research programs, I'll stream more, but I won't be able to make as many videos still, because, I mean, they're like 8-hour workdays. Whatever. Anyway, gaming and talking. Happy holidays, everyone. I'm gonna stop the recording now.